Hey everyone. So in this video, I want to go over showing ranking data within ML.NET. So we'll go ahead and get started here, and I already have ML.NET installed using version 1.5 here. And real quick, we're using this dataset here. And we got this dataset from Microsoft Research here. They released a couple of learning to rank datasets. And what it is just a set of search engine queries on Microsoft Bing. And it tells us our label values here. So we have from 0 to 4, 0 being the query is totally irrelevant, and then 4 with it being perfectly relevant. And then the features they extracted here. And then looking at the data, we have our label column, which is at 0 to 4, a group ID, and then a bunch of other columns on the features of our data set. A bunch of stuff like some term frequency, items, page rank, site rank, and all that stuff. Alright, so let's get started here. And the first thing, like usual, is to create a new ML context. And let's read in that data. The context data load from text file. And we need to create a ranking data class. And we'll pass in the name, which is ranking.tsv, and the separator character. It's going to be a tab, so it's tab delimited here, and we'll create this ranking data class. Alright, so we got a couple of properties. So we got that label, which I'm going to call relevance here. There's also that group ID, and then I'm just going to do a float array for all the rest of the columns. I'm going to call it features. And for our data annotations here, the low column is the first item, and I'm giving the column name of label. The second would be low column of 1 for the next item, and the features array is going to be low column. That's going to be from 2 to 133. I already did some quick calculations to get the length of all the rest of the features, and then I'm going to set it as a vector type of 133, so we don't have to write specific column properties for all these things. We can just get them all within this one. So there's our data, and I'm going to do a split on this data using context data test train split. I'm going to give it the test fraction of 20%. We'll do something a little bit different here. I'm actually going to do a second split, and the reason for this is I'm going to take some of this data to use for predictions, do kind of a batch predictions. And sometimes you actually see 3 different splits in some pipelines anyway. They usually do the test train validation split, where they will of course do the test and training on algorithms, but then once they finally find an algorithm that they think is really promising, they'll use that on the validation set to make sure that it generalizes well to that set as well. So do context data test train split again, and I'll use a test set from that first split. Now I'm sure there's more sophisticated ways to do the splitting, but I'll just do that for now. And then I'll get my sample input from that second split and get the test set from that second split. So the sample input is going to be used for my batch predictions. For now, for the ranking pipeline, the context that transforms conversion map value to key. And this is going to be used for that label. So because labels are numbers here, and they're actually in kind of a ranking order, so that's why we're going to use this map value to key, so we can kind of help preserve that order as well. I'll append to that another transform conversion, and I'm going to hash the group ID, and I'm going to keep that output and the input column the same as group ID. And then last, I'll do the ranking trainer, and I'm going to use the light GBM trainer here. You see we don't have it available, so it's actually a separate NuGet package. So we go download that. It's just a Microsoft ML Lite GBM package. This is specifically for ranking. Let's see if I spell it correctly as well. Now we'll do our model by doing our pipeline.fit on the first splits train set, and we can get the predictions by using model.transform. This is going to be on the split test set. Good. Now we can get some metrics here. Context, ranking, evaluate method. Pass in predictions. And ranking has a couple of different metrics that you might have seen before. There's a discounted cumulative gains, and then the normalized discounted cumulative gains. I'll leave a couple of links in the description that goes over these in more detail, but I'm going to use the normalized discounted cumulative gains, and then I'm going to get the average of these because it's going to get a few of them. And this normalized discounted cumulative gains, there's going to be from 0 to 1, where the closer to 1 is a better model for you. And let's write this out. In DGC is going to be that average there. And let's do an environment new line. Because next I want to get some batch predictions. I'll use model transform. And here's where I'll use that sample input that I got earlier. And then with those batch predictions, that gives us an odd data view. So we can use the context data, create enumerable. And then here I need a ranking prediction output class. So I pass in the batch predictions and say reuse row object to false. And let's create this output class here. And all this has is a single property. It'll be relevance score. I'll set the column name to score. Alright, so we have those predictions. And now we can write those out. So scores. And then for each prediction and new predictions, we'll write out those items. Prediction.relevance score. Alright, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to debug here first and run this. Alright, so we get our metrics here. So we got a normalized discounted cumulative gain of around 70%, so not too bad. And we see we get 3 of them here, and I think it gets like 3 previous scores from it. And let's run this all the way through. There we go, there's our metric, and then there's our scores there. But we can actually update our evaluation here. We can add in some options. The new ranking evaluator options. And we can set the truncation level to something else. Let's do 5. So this is how we can change from returning 3 items from here to whatever that we want here. So after predictions, I just pass in the options. And I'll just run this all the way through. Oh, actually, let's debug that to show that we got 5 items this time. Okay, now we got 5 items. And let's see, now we got 73% on our metric. Alright, so that's just kind of a brief introduction to running ranking algorithms within ML.NET. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.